The 1923 Great Kanto Earthquake, one of the most destructive natural disasters mankind have ever seen. It caused a loss of almost $1 billion US, equivalent to about 40 billion today. Such devastating disaster caused over 140,000 estimated casualties, including about 40,000 who went missing and were presumed dead. Many were killed from collapsed buildings, while the rest were killed by great fires. The megathrust earthquake struck the Kanto plain on the Japanese main island of Honshu at 11:58 a.m. on Saturday, September 1st, 1923. Various reports indicate the duration of the earthquake was between 4 and 10 minutes, not a normal figure even for the Japanese. The world stunned. How is it happen? The earthquake hit Kanto region with a magnitude between 7.9 and 8.2 on the moment magnitude scale, with its focus depth beneath Izu-Oshima Island in Sagami Bay. The cause was a rupture of part of the convergent boundary where the Philippine Sea Plate is subducting beneath the Okhotsk Plate along the line of Sagami Trough. Tokyo, Yokohama, Chiba, Kanagawa, and Shizuoka all have been affected. It caused widespread damage and great destruction throughout the Kanto region, ruining vast parts of the cities and rural areas. The force was so great it moved the Great Buddha statue, which weighed about 84,000 kg, almost 2 feet. The Great Buddha statue in Kamakura is over 60 km from the epicenter. The damage from this natural disaster was the greatest ever sustained by Japan at that time. The earthquake struck at lunchtime when people were cooking meals over fire. Many large fires broke out inside and outside the buildings and other infrastructure. As a result, thousands died, including people whom their feet got stuck in the melting road when they tried to escape from the buildings. Some fires developed into firestorms that swept across cities. In Rikkyugun Honjo, Hifukusho, downtown Tokyo, about 38,000 people were incinerated while taking shelter there following the fire tornado. The earthquake broke water mains all over the city, and putting out the fire took nearly 2 full days until late in the morning of September 3rd. A strong typhoon struck Tokyo Bay at about the same time as the earthquake. Wind from the typhoon caused fire off the coast of Noto Peninsula in Ishikawa Prefecture to spread rapidly, many whom were buried or swept away by landslide in the mountainous and hilly coastal area in western Kanagawa Prefecture. About 800 people died. A collapsing mountainside in the village of Nobukawa, west of Odawara, pushed the entire village and a passenger train carrying over 100 passengers along with the railway station into the sea. Over 570,000 homes were destroyed, leaving an estimated 1.9 million homeless. Evacuees were transported by ship from Kanto to as far as Kobe in Kansai. The aftermath caused several political issues as well as post-quake violence. In the confusion after the quake, mass murder suffered by Korean ethnic by mobs occurred in urban Tokyo and Yokohama, fueled by rumors of rebellion and sabotage. The importance of obtaining and providing accurate information following natural disaster has been emphasized in Japan ever since. Japanese government always directs citizens to carry a portable radio to listen to reliable information and not to be misled by rumors in the event of a large earthquake. Beginning in 1960, every 1st September is designated as Disaster Prevention Day to commemorate the earthquake and remind people of the importance of preparation, as September and October are in the middle of the typhoon season. On September 1st every year since 1960, schools across Japan take a moment of silence for the unfortunates who lost their life during this event.
Let's start with the Great Valdivia earthquake, which was a magnitude 9.5 on the Richter scale and was the biggest earthquake ever recorded. To explore the mechanics of subduction zone megathrust earthquakes, let's examine the 1960 magnitude 9.5 Chile Earthquake, the largest instrumentally recorded seismic event. For great earthquakes, the displacement at the hypocenter is just the beginning. The initial fault break in 1960 triggered a runaway rupture that displaced an area more than 800 kilometers long. The entire fault rupture lasts over 4 minutes, releasing immense seismic energy equivalent to a cascade of 10,000 magnitude 7 earthquakes. Most of the damage was caused by resulting tsunami, which we can examine by looking at a cross-section. The oceanic Nazca Plate dives beneath the more buoyant continental plate. Because tectonic plates are elastic like a spring, the leading edge of the continental plate stores elastic energy as the plates converge. With the megathrust plate boundary locked by friction, the upper plate is forced back and shortened, raising the land surface while replacing the ocean floor between the coast and the trench. In 1960, the force of the converging plates overcame friction, causing the leading edge of continental plates to lurch seaward. During the earthquake, uplift of the seafloor formed a mound of seawater that spread out as a tsunami, while coastal and nearby inland areas dropped. 5.8 meters of uplift was measured on several offshore islands, while subsidence by as much as 2.3 meters affected land areas near the coast. The resulting tsunami reached heights of 15 meters along the outer coast, causing over 1,000 of the 1,425 fatalities in Chile. The Trans-Pacific tsunami was one of the most destructive of modern times, killing 61 in Hawaii, 32 in Philippines, and 142 in Japan. The 1960 tsunami motivated development of the International Pacific Tsunami Warning System.
Emerges as the most disastrous earthquake year of modern times.
Even today, the images, the impact of that 1960 quake in Chile have the power to shock.
1/4 of the nation, over 2 million homeless, whole cities have been reduced to shambles.
The 1960 quake, about 10 times greater than today's, shook Chile for 11 horrifying minutes and sent shockwaves around the world, triggering destructive tsunami. 15 hours later, a 35-foot wave smashed into Hilo on the big island of Hawaii, more than 6,000 miles away. 1,600 houses destroyed, 185 people dead or missing. A day later, a deadly 18-foot wave slammed into Japan. Tsunami swept across the Pacific from the Philippines to California.
On the California coast, it swept in at an angle, ripping coastal installations and causing heavy damage.
It wasn't the worst earthquake ever, but it was the worst ever recorded for the first time. A quake's tremendous power and reach were picked up by sensors newly placed around the globe to monitor Cold War nuclear testing by the US and Soviet.
This is a short documentary of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami that has hit Acheh province in Sumatra, Indonesia. In December 26, 2004, the Great Sumatra Andaman Earthquake occurred, which spawned one of the largest and deadliest tsunami in history. This earthquake began at its epicenter off the west coast of Sumatra. It was caused when the Indian Ocean plate was subducted by the Burma continental plate and triggered a series of devastating tsunamis along the coasts of most landmasses bordering the Indian Ocean. The shock had a moment magnitude of 9.1 Scala Richter and reaching shorelines thousands of miles from the quake's epicenter. About 8 hours after its birth, the tsunami reached both American coasts. A record of more than 230,000 lives were killed in 14 countries around the Indian Ocean. More than half of those killed had lived in Acheh province, Sumatra, where the tsunami rose as high as 30 meters and traveled more than 4 kilometers inland.
Orang udah pada keluar semua nih. Udah tadi udah lari-lari di sini, Pak kemana aja? Allah, Allah, ini lagi-lagi goyang nih. Berdiri di pinggir titik.
Nah, itu di
Tapi pusing kita masih.
Tohoku Earthquake. It was a tragedy on an extraordinary scale. The quake is so powerful it knocked the Earth off its axis. There are several tectonic plates that go through Japan. They are the Pacific Plate, Okhotsk Plate, Eurasian Plate, and the Philippine Sea Plate. Pacific Plate and Okhotsk Plate are the major contributor to this earthquake where the epicenter was near Japan. This is where the Okhotsk Plate flipped back up. The Pacific Plate moves under Japan at 8.9 cm a year. Movement causes the Okhotsk Plate to begin to buckle as it is pulled back. The Pacific Plate pulls the lip of the Okhotsk Plate down. This movement causes the plate to buckle and get uplighted. Acheh flipped back up, pushing massive amounts of water upward, causing the tsunami. When the pressure was finally released, the lip of the Okhotsk Plate flipped back up. Part of the plate that had been uplighted fell back down. On the coast of northern Japan, this caused some parts to lower as much as 2 meters. The tsunami moves at 800 km per hour towards Japan. The 160 km long section of the Okhotsk Plate that flipped back up moved about 5 to 8 meters. The highest wave that hit Japan was 38.9 meters at Miyako City. This is the seismic activity map which shows the seismic activity around Japan. Here you can easily distinguish the difference between normal earthquake and Tohoku earthquake. You can see there are a lot of aftershocks that happen just after the Tohoku earthquake. The tsunami produced from the earthquake are so severe that it destroys the town almost completely.
Following a major earthquake, 15-meter tsunami disabled the power supply and cooling of 3 Fukushima Daiichi reactors, causing a nuclear accident on 11 March 2011. All 3 cores largely melted in the first 3 days. In the year following, Japan was hit by over 5,000 aftershocks. The earthquake was so powerful it shifted Earth on its axis of rotation. In December 2011, Tokyo Electric Power Company TEPCO said 45 metric tons of radioactive water had been released into the ocean. 3 days after the earthquake, 1,000 bodies have been recovered in the town of Minami Sanriku alone. Eventual death toll was over 15,800 with a further 2,500 missing. Believed to have been the most expensive disaster in history so far, amounting to an estimated 300 billion. Further to this, 45,700 buildings and 230,000 vehicles were destroyed.
By the fact that most of the casualties are directly from collapsed structure and tsunami, government should at least ensure the structure have to be designed according to the relevant seismic code of practice. Where the cities located along the coastline, maybe the government needs to build tsunami wall to protect the cities near coast. Effective alert system has to be established for early warning. SOP for search and rescue have to be more practical for relevant authorities. Since our country is prone to flood, maybe government can take as an example and adopt the SOP used by the Japanese during tsunami.